On 1 December of the year 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed, which is a document made by the countries that were claiming ownership of a share in the Antarctic continent, in which they pledged to stop their intentions to take their shares indefinitely in order to allow the establishment of scientific research among all countries, while the treaty called for peaceful research on the continent only, and prohibited any attempts to extract minerals for at least 50 years, between the 12 countries of this treaty. The beginning of the questions was what drives 12 superpowers to race for the division of military pieces in this place, which they described as a frozen, barren land. What are the minerals that were forbidden to be extracted in the first 50 years and are now permitted? What is the secret of the scientific research that has been taking place on this Earth for more than half a century? Rather, what is the story of Admiral Richard, who revealed the secret of the land beyond the South? In this episode, we will travel with you to the ends of the Earth and Darwish will tell you some of its hidden secrets. Stay with us. The year 1959 was not the beginning of the story, but rather the end of it. Because the story of the discovery of the southern icy land is very old and appeared in the maps of the Chinese and Western and Muslim explorers in the form of a great frozen land surrounding the land as if it were a wall. The maps left by the famous Ottoman geographer and Captain Piri Reis in the year 1528 were the first concrete evidence of the existence of the land of ice. The days passed until the beginning of the 20th century, when the Norwegian explorer Bold Manson was able to reach the frozen southern mountain, and this prompted the Nazi Party to send a secret squad called the Adelies Society in the early last century that included elite Earth scientists filled with old maps, some of which date back to the 16th century, some of them are from the Ottoman era. The goal of that trip was to explore the land of ice, as the Nazis were completely certain of the existence of post-polar lands, and it was not only the Nazis who were looking for the secret of the South, but also the Americans under the supervision of Richard Evelyn Berg, a U.S. Commodore, who is an explorer of the region's Antarctica, North and aviator. And from a weapon, he carried out, in the period between the years 1928 and 1957, great works that surpassed others, in the operations of discovering the barren frozen continent of Antarctica. Specifically, on 16 February of the year 1947. Richard made his second trip over the South Pole, where he announced in a message to him before taking off that he must see these lands beyond the pole again, because he discovered with a former American contingent an area equivalent to the dimensions of Germany and France, and he prepared comprehensive maps about it. Until the year 1956 came and everything changed. When an American mission flew 4,300 kilometers from the American base Nakamoto, located 600 kilometers from the South Pole, and went inland for a distance of 3,700 kilometers, he saw a region of landmasses located in the post-polar lands, according to the report of the mission from that year. He announced it in a personal interview on TV. Here comes the questions whether Antarctica is an empty, barren land, as they claim. When 12 superpowers share control of it within 39 countries combined. Why do military bases spread out there? Rather, why is it forbidden to travel to some of its regions? What is certain is that the truth is not as advertised. Despite all this ice that covers the Antarctic continent, it contains the driest place on Earth, which is the dry valleys, where humidity levels reach zero because of the high mountains, and strong winds that sometimes reach 322 km per hour. The hour. In this place also there is Lake Vostok, which is a marvel of 200 phenomena buried under the ice, meaning that Antarctica contains nearly 70% of the fresh water on the surface of the Earth. The surprising thing is that some scientists recently confirmed the existence of a huge ice wall on the outskirts of the Land of the South called the Transient Mountains, which is one of the longest mountain ranges in the world, as it forms a separator between East and West Antarctica. Its width is between 100 and 300 kilometers, while it reaches its highest height is approximately 4,500 meters above sea level, and most of these mountains are buried under piles of snow, while peaks appear from them. At the same time, the British newspaper The Daily Star confirmed the truth about the discovery of a strange pyramid in Antarctica, through a picture that stunned scientists in the world after it spread in the year 2016. One of the structures discovered bears an uncanny resemblance to the Giza pyramids in Egypt. In a related context, a recent study published in the journal Science France revealed the existence of a huge cavity equivalent to two-thirds of the size of Manhattan Island in the United States, at the bottom of the Swiss glacier in West Antarctica. Andra is a discovery, as this continent is unique in all respects, including the strange creatures. Scientists have found an unfamiliar creature unlike any other known to humans, which to this day are still trying to determine its origin, diet and classification among living organisms. This creature was recognized after the news was leaked by one of the continent's biologists. At the same time, a scientific expedition discovered in Antarctic waters a number of strange marine creatures unknown before, in addition to other known creatures, but of giant and large sizes, including jellyfish with arms that extend to about 12 feet and a starfish with a width of 2 feet. During the journey made by the members of the scientific mission, which extended for about 2,000 miles from the coast of New Zealand to the Ross Sea near the Antarctic continent, the mission discovered at least 8 types of unknown mollusks. In the far south of Ross Island, one of the famous islands in Antarctica, there is the active Erie Boss volcano, which reaches a height of 2,800 meters. It is a highly erupting volcano believed to be responsible for many earthquakes. One of the wonders of Antarctica is also the large sand dunes, as in the frozen land of the south there is the largest desert in the world with an incredibly cold atmosphere with droughts and storms. Also, the sun and the moon in this land appear at some times of the year in strange forms that bear many interpretations. And not only that, this land contains precious and rare minerals and places that no man has ever trod before. All of this and more was a sufficient reason for the superpowers to flock to it, storm it and prevent entry to some of its regions. And at a time when it is announced in the media that the research that is taking place on the land of Antarctica is purely geological research, the truth comes further than that, by conducting secret research on lands beyond the mountains. According to the documents of U.S. Admiral Richard, all this information, some of which has been leaked, is only the tip of a great iceberg. The biggest secret of Antarctica cannot be guessed at. Perhaps the coming years will reveal to us things that have deceived us for many years.